When it comes to sports being a part of people's lives, for some, it's far more than just a game. For most, it's just a hobby you enjoy in your spare time, but for others, it genuinely offers a way out of whatever struggles you're experiencing growing up coming through the ranks, and can genuinely be life-changing for those that make it. At this time, about a year ago, I made a video about a player that this absolutely applies to, being Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors, and in that video, I undersold just how good he could be as a player, as he's now one of the fastest risers and most improved players in the entire NBA this year, exceeding all expectations I ever had for him. So in today's video, I wanted to retell the inspiring story of Chris Boucher, what he had to go through to get to this point, and what makes him such a highly impactful and unique player for the Raptors right now and moving forward. Before we start though, it turns out about 67% of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so please, if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I would also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. Chris Boucher was born in the country of St. Lucia, but at 5 years old moved to Montreal, Canada with his mother to unite with his father. With that being said though, his upbringing was a bit rough, and his relationship with his parents was admittedly pretty shaky. At 16 years old, he dropped out of high school, and things between his family got so bad that his mother kicked him out of the house, which forced him to fend for himself from the ages of 16 to 18, and he ended up getting a job as a cook and dishwasher at a restaurant in order to fend for himself. He also started playing on a local tournament basketball team around this time, and while it wasn't a big league he was playing in or anything like that, he did lead his team to the championship where he put up 44 points, and luckily for him, two of the few people in the gym's attendance that day to watch it were Igor Regema and Ibrahim Apaya, who were coaches for Alma Academy, which is a program set up to help teenagers that come from bad situations get a chance to earn a high school diploma and continue their goals in sports. And after that game, they got into contact with Chris and offered him a spot that he accepted. While at Alma, he and Ibrahim grew very close, and he even started to consider him family, and he played a big factor in getting Chris's head right to focus on the things that mattered. And even now, he's Chris's manager, which shows the bond that they developed and how impactful he was and still is in his life. He continued to perform well on the court at Alma, and he even attracted the attention of several Division I coaches, but the problem was that his grades held him back from pursuing that route, so instead he had to start in junior college. He played a year at New Mexico Junior College where he had a decent first season, but he wasn't happy there and then transferred to Northwest Junior College for his second season, where he really established himself as someone worth bringing into a top Division I program. That year, he was named the Junior College Player of the Year, posting averages of about 23 points, 12 rebounds, and a whopping 5 blocks per game, while also making about 45% of his three-point shots, demonstrating his incredibly unique versatility both inside and out. After this season, he finally got to the point where he worked his way firmly onto the Division I radar, and after getting offered by several big programs, he committed to play for Oregon in the Pac-12. At first, Boucher's skinny frame worried head coach Dana Altman because physicality was definitely higher than any level he previously played at Division I, and by no means was Boucher guaranteed any minutes even after the transfer. But once he started practicing and getting himself integrated to the squad, he impressed enough with his motor and energy to get regular minutes, and as his Oregon career progressed, he became a full-time starter and major impact player for them. In his first season with the team, he broke the program's single-season blocks record, and in his second season, he was named to the conference's all-defense team, and by this point, everything was going well for him, and he was firmly on the radar of NBA teams. But then the worst possible thing happened as he tore his ACL late in that final year, and as a result, his draft stock plummeted. He was unable to work out with any teams before the draft as a result, and the injury combined with his already skinny frame mentioned earlier led to a lot of hesitation around him, so in the 2017 draft, he went undrafted. He was very frustrated at this time, but luckily the Golden State Warriors picked him up on a two-way contract, allowing him to rehab within their organization and eventually get back on his feet with their G League affiliate program. Despite coming off of an injury, he recovered well, and when he started to play, play with the Santa Cruz Warriors, his frustrations continued to carry over when he got limited minutes. He felt he was one of the best players on the team, and he often disagreed with the coaching staff about decisions they made, and this was a time he himself admittedly looks back on and regrets, but it did teach him a lesson that at the highest level like the NBA, you have to remain professional and not everybody makes it. So when the Warriors ended up waiving him, it hit him that he really had to get his act together. After that year, the Toronto Raptors ended up signing him to another two-way contract, and it was here, as you all probably could have guessed, that things really started to take off for him. In his first season with the team in 2019, he once again spent most of his time down in the G League, not playing much besides garbage time at the NBA level, but his time in the G League he approached with a much better mindset, embraced the coaching staff and the role he was put in, and went on a mission to prove himself, and in doing so, he completely tore the G League up. In the G League that year, he averaged monstrous numbers of 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks per game, and his production on both ends of the floor led to him not only being named the MVP of the G League that season, but also the league's Defensive Player of the Year. He still felt insulted even having to play in the G League at all, but instead of complaining about it, he used this disgust as fuel to prove everyone wrong, and every time he took to the court, he was looking to dominate. This obviously caught the eyes of the Raptors staff, so they ended up converting his two-way contract into a standard NBA contract, so he went into that offseason with a lot of positive momentum to build off of. After another offseason of hard work, he finally became a rotation regular for the Raptors off the bench last year, and while he didn't necessarily have a big role or even a consistent one, it was the start that he needed. He would have a few games here and there where he would score a lot of points or block a lot of shots, but with it being his first real season getting minutes in the NBA, he was far from consistent, and when the playoffs rolled around, his role was highly reduced to the point where he didn't even play in a few of their playoff games. This leads us to the current season that's underway right now, and the offseason we just had set him up perfectly to take the leap that he is currently taking. Both Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol parted ways with the Raptors this offseason, with both of them playing heavy minutes at the positions that Boucher plays as a big man, so as a result, a lot of the minutes were up for grabs, and even though the team brought in players like Aaron Baines and Alex Len in free agency, it has been Boucher that has taken over as the big man for the team. He is still coming off the bench for now, but he's basically playing starters minutes, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he takes over the starting spot in the near future. This season, he's averaging about 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 2.5 blocked shots per game. And just for comparison, I'll put on the screen how big of a leap he's taken from last year to this year. On top of that, the guy just simply doesn't seem to miss, and his versatility that he's shown off from his college days and G League days are finally fully translating to the NBA, as he's making a whopping 59% of his shots and 48% of his threes so far. Today's NBA is all about defensive versatility and spacing the floor on offense, and Boucher's skill set is perfectly crafted for it. Right now, he's one of the heavy favorites to win the Sixth Man of the Year award, as well as the Most Improved Player of the Year award, and even though it's still early in the season, he absolutely deserves that level of praise. He's come a long way, and nothing was ever handed to him along the way. So to see a success story like this is really inspirational. The Raptors have proven to be a terrific organization in recent years regarding uncovering hidden gems, and Boucher is yet another player to add to that list. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about Boucher's rise in the NBA. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.